Hey, Scott, Shawn, and I are in Oklahoma and dealing with record low temperatures, a second snowstorm, and rolling blackouts, but we're still here for you as long as humanly possible. On this episode of Taskforce Geek, we will talk about the rumor that some superfans with big bucks are looking to buy DC Comics and publish those. We ask if George Lucas did the right thing to sell Star Wars to Disney. And we talk with our buddy writer Doug Wood, who has a new big project, and that's all coming up now. Hey, welcome to Task Force Geek. My name is Dark Cooper, and today I am joined by Scott.
Howdy!
At a remote location.
Yeah, at a new venue today, so this should be interesting.
How about that? No, this is a no candles broadcast.
There's no candle. There's only 2 candles in this whole house.
Wow, that is outrageous. Frankly,
it's ridiculous.
We also have Shawn, of course.
Hello.
And our buddy Doug. How you doing, Doug?
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, you're welcome. The last time you were on here was in October, and there's been a lot happening, and you have yet another project that's coming out.
Yes, huge.
But, we will seriously huge, and we will talk about all of that here in a moment. We're getting comments; they're coming in like crazy. Brian James says dynamic performance. Thank you.
Just by
if you only knew. If you only knew.
Oh my gosh. Ronnie says a frigid hello to you all. And Walt says watching from the warmth of my car.
Oh my gosh. Walt is still
out of power.
Still out of power.
If I'm correct, is in Dallas and is without power, I'm assuming. Otherwise, why would he be in his car? He had an update from Whataburger or something earlier.
He's been making the rounds for free Wi-Fi because I know he was at Dunkin' Donuts earlier, and then he said he almost got like smashed by some grocery store truck. And I'm sure he's at Whataburger now.
What
so there you go.
The heck? Dallas was even less prepared than Oklahoma this time.
Walt, my house has nobody in it. Come on up,
Doug.
drive on up, and you and your dog can stay at my house.
We're going to help you out. All right, we are broadcasting live from my Facebook account, which is that right there. And we are broadcasting from my Dark Cooper Plus account on Twitter and Periscope. And we're also on Twitch. If you're watching us on any of these, please share this broadcast right now. Share it right now. And also you can put some comments in wherever you're watching us. We want to hear from you. Here's some more comments. Everyone's going crazy. Everyone's in tonight because it's terrible outside. Mike says, just hanging out with you guys, frozen like many others. Brian says, Whataburger. Holy cow. Walt says that we're without electricity until Thursday. And Whataburger is closed.
I still make that offer if you want to drive up I-35, Walt. You can
3 hours away, man.
You can crash at my place.
Come hang with us. And Russell, hey, nice to see you, buddy. Watching by candlelight so he doesn't strain the grid. Heck with that. We're going to do a live broadcast. What do you think about this? This light alone is going to blow us off the grid.
They could.
I should take that off. I'm doing my part now. How about this?
There you go.
Or not. We're just going for it. What the heck? All right. Here's our first thing here. Here it comes in a second. Maybe.
I can't.
Man, that DC thing is rocking. Hey-o, it's a party.
Not what I anticipated.
I know. It's time for everyone to wake up. It's time. DC Comics had one hell of a rough year. They fired their publisher, 2 editors-in-chief, many staffers who had been at the company for decades with more expected. As a result of the AT&T buyout of Warner's, the pandemic, and cuts across the board. Bleeding Cool has heard repeated reports, and it's not just Bleeding Cool, that DC Comics is planning to reduce serialized print publication, increase digital publication, and license comic book publication to other publishers. They have heard that Marvel, IDW, and Dynamite have all approached DC, but the prices cited were way too high, but that it was a price Penguin Random House was willing to pay. But this is all still a rumor and hearsay. From Future State to Infinite Frontier, sales per title are up. Way up. The line is smaller with fewer editorial staff. It has to be. But per title, per allocated desk space in that empty Burbank building, profitability is up. It also helps that some rather pricey exclusive creator deals and also are a thing of the past as well. There is some suspicion that everything is resting on the Infinite Frontier. I don't even know what the heck that is. Performance to whether or not DC Comics continues to have a serialized print comic publishing line. Scott, do you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about it, because they keep saying all their sales are up. Every book is $7.99 with backup stories.
See, that's the secret.
That's false.
They can sell. Yeah, they can sell half as many comics and still be making more money.
Well,
I
guess technically they
but
are,
not for long.
But I don't see a bunch of Future State books just like selling out of our shop so quick that people can't get enough.
Yeah,
this is one of those fads.
I want to talk about Future State here in a minute.
Well, I've read one book from Future State, and that was the Legion of Superheroes book, and it had kind of it had the same writer and stuff on it, so it was okay. It wasn't anything great. It's not like it's not breaking the internet or making me pine and wish I missed some stories. Honestly, what it did is like I came to these couple of months and I went, "Ooh, I get a break. I got more money to try some other things." And I did. I've tried other books.
My speculation, we're going to talk about Future State here in a minute, but my speculation is that people who are collectors are buying those comics because of the first appearance of a bunch of new characters, and that people who are regularly buying comics are taking a break. Like you just said, they're like, I'll take 2 months off. That's fine. I'll go buy something else. So anyway, the rumor, which I have a little additional information since this story came out, and that is they've named 2 people who apparently have put up some interest and have the money to license out the DC characters. They're not going to take over Warner Brothers or anything else. They're just going to publish DC Comics. And these 2 people that have been mentioned, both have the cash for this. One is Steve Jeppy, the guy who owns and operates Diamond Comics, which is kind of ironic, but he's got a lot of money. He's someone who could do that. And are you sitting down Robert Kirkman, the guy who created The Walking Dead? He's got sweet AMC money from all the many years that The Walking Dead has been on there. So those are the 2 people. And I mean, there are other, what they call super fans, who have a lot of cash.
Maybe he'll try to go for Wildstorm. That would be interesting. Getting back the properties under the Image.
Yeah, we just
umbrella.
talked about that before the show. We would like to see some Wildstorm. So anyway, let's talk first about the rumor, total rumor, that some people are looking to maybe license these characters to publish DC. And for that, first, I'll go to Scott.
I mean, I think anything's possible at this point. Everything that's happened with DC so far, we never thought would happen. Now, do I really believe that there's a bunch of fanboys out there who's gathering their money together in another, GameStop type dream thing where they can go control the market? No, I really don't. I mean, I was on Twitter, and Doug's on Twitter a lot too, so he can either back me up or tell me I'm wrong on this. There's a lot of creators out there who are saying, don't believe all this hype. I mean, like Rob Liefeld's talking about it. The money it would take would be ridiculous.
It sure would.
A lot of other people have talked. They're teasing. A lot of the creators are like, hey, today, Frank Terry, one of the writers, he talked about hey, I'm going to pitch in some money for Lobo, who's with me. And then he goes, let's just do Lobo, and let's also get the character Wildcat together. And that's when I chimed in, and I was like, all right, how much of my money do you need? And we're all just kind of having a fun time with this. Now, nothing would shock me, because I also think Warner Brothers we've said this for a long time now.
We've been saying it for nearly a
kind
year.
of stupid. The fact that we don't get a new Batman movie or Superman movie every couple of years that's decent. Right. It always should be decent. It is, a travesty. So like they're just looking at the bottom numbers. They don't care. So it wouldn't shock me. And at the same time, if nothing comes out of this, it wouldn't shock me either. I mean, I think what we're going to continue to see is a lot of this digital first books where they announce all this stuff. Like they've announced like a new Superman book that's taken place right after the original Superman movie, like Superman 87 and Batman like 89.
And with
Michael Batman. I'm sorry, Superman 78,
right,
and Batman 89,
right.
Which I immediately said, who wants these books? And a few people piped up on the test.
I'm sure there are a few, yeah.
And they said, I would love to have the Batman one. And I'm like, okay, I get that one. But don't get me started on how terrible the Superman movie was. Oh, I had a bad day. I'll just change time. Superman's not a butthole that's going to do that all the time just because of a bad day. You know what I mean? So...
Maybe he is, Scott.
I mean, I think everybody liked it from that generation because we were just happy to see a Superman movie. So, I mean, anyways, these digital first things do nothing for me. I hate them. I hate them.
Can I say for just a minute that I just watched the Donner cut of Superman 2?
Oh gosh, was
it even worse? All the rest of it was wonderful, but
same ending, right?
No. The ending, it was the same ending as the first movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He goes back in time.
Yes, he literally flies around, turns the whole thing back. Lois Lane completely forgets about their love affair, and he reverses everything. It's so stupid.
I forgot my keys today. I'll just reverse the plan.
The rest of the movie was actually a lot better, but the ending was so terrible. I'm sorry, Scott.
No.
What else do you have to say about? I just had
I'm curious to hear what Doug has
to
say because Doug's on Twitter quite a bit.
I am too.
He follows a lot of creators, so
I am too. We're going to him next.
Okay, so first of all, I know a lot of people don't like Rich Johnson and Bleeding Cool, but in the past I feel like he had a really good track record with these kind of rumors. They keep saying fans, but obviously like those two are not like fans.
Right, they're not talking. So, right, they're not talking about you and me. They're talking about guys with substantial bank accounts.
Right, and a lot of the creators were guffawing, and I felt like Chris Ryle, he was a long time like IDW person, like head honcho guy. He was making jokes on Twitter saying, "Hey, who you want if you had one person or one team?" You know, and people were chiming in, "Hey, I got $30. Give me an ambush bug or whatever."
That might be overpaying.
Yeah. I don't know. I've talked to friends before. I said, what's stopping DC from trying to piecemeal some of their stuff to keep themselves afloat? Like, why not try to sell off Wildstorm, or why not try to sell off like the Charlatan characters? You're not doing anything with them a lot of the times.
You know, all of the Vertigo stuff. You know, Sandman, The Dreaming.
Those may be a little bit harder
Lucifer.
Because some of the contracts and stuff like that, but just some of the other stuff that they have underneath their umbrella, it's like sure some of the stuff's been sitting around for a while, but maybe there's somebody who has that's the why are we not trying?
I mean, IDW does a lot of Marvel titles, like these adventure titles, and I don't know how that came about, or if like secretly Disney is also the same company that owns IDW. Because we see that with TV stations. Well, I mean,
they're doing it under the wire.
People watch cable and think that they're getting 125 different channels, but really one network owns an umbrella of, like 25 networks or something. So, anyways, if I was IDW, I don't know why you want to go out and get like Batman, Superman, and do new adventure books and stuff, just like they do with the Marvel stuff. Like, I make fun of us carrying those, but we sell quite a bit of them. So there is a market for those and those style of like kind of, I almost say like one-off comics, because when you do those adventure things for kids, you don't seem to get like 1 out of 6 part storylines. You get a story and you get out, which is refreshing at times too. So,
yeah. Shawn, what do you think, man?
I don't even remember what the question was.
Dude,
we've gone on such
we're talking about the rumor that
the fans buying the. I've been saying this ever since what was it? They started talking about the Snyder Cut. That as soon as the rumors started going around that whenever they started firing everybody,
we were told
under.
The Snyder Cut wouldn't happen.
As soon as they started letting everybody go, I said what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to license out these characters. They're not going to be able to publish them. AT&T does not want this. They do not want DC. They don't want anything to do it because it's not making them money. It's making them some, but it's not making them enough for them to want to keep it. So I've got a feeling they're going to piecemeal this out. Maybe they're asking too much right now, but eventually they're going to drop that price. They're going to start feeding that thing out. That just makes sense to me. If they don't want to publish it, they don't want to let go of the characters. They don't want to let go of the properties.
Yep, they're not.
But they don't want to do the publication. So let somebody else do it. Rock on. Let's get this going. I don't know why they haven't made a Wildcats movie. I don't know why they haven't made a Wetworks movie. I don't know why they haven't made a Cyberforce movie. Are you flipping kidding me? Cyberforce? Come on.
They don't have the rights to Cyberforce.
No, they don't have Cyberforce, but they have Stormwatch.
Isn't Cyberforce part of Wildstorm?
No, that's Top Cow.
Oh, my bad.
There's well, Shawn, you're old school, so you remember when Image started. There was that misconception that those were tied together.
I thought
and they had a lot of crossovers, but that's Sylvester's company. It's Top Cow.
My bad.
No
In
worries.
any case,
I think they shared studios for a little bit when they were Homage. I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I want to say that.
I just don't understand why they're not utilizing those properties.
Right.
They have them. Put them out.
Why are they on ice?
Right.
If you're not working with DC, or excuse me, if you're not working well with your DC properties, all right, you own all these others, play with those. Do you just not want to cut Jim Lee a big check? I mean, what's the big deal here? Let's get this stuff moving. Let's go.
Let me ask this question to you guys. Do you think it will be just the publishing side, or do you think they will leave up some early Marvel, like in the 90s, remember, where they just started throwing things out to the studios? No? You think it'll just be publishing on this?
No, Warner Brothers is doing fine with the CW and with, the movies. Joker made over $1 billion. Aquaman made over $1 billion. I feel like even though Wonder Woman 1984 was no good, it probably would have made $700 or $800 million. They would have made some money on it, in different times. They're still making. AT&T understands that. If you can make $1 billion with one movie, AT&T gets that. What they don't get is making several $100 million in the comic book market. They're like, this is chump change. It doesn't. Even as a feeder system, that seems weird. You would think that they would like the R&D of everything, but who knows? Well, the thing is, the what they're talking about is allowing someone to come up with storylines and publish the comics, and still own the characters and whatever they produce, where they can transfer. So it still becomes somebody's doing all the work. They're just counting the money, right? Yeah. It becomes a skunk works where they can. Come up with new ideas, and they can use it for their shows. But I mean, look, folks, the DC Comics right now, for some reason, is drowning. I mean, I don't know how you can't release Batman comics and make some money. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you can't do it, maybe you should hand it over to someone else who understands how to make comics that people want to buy. It's not rocket science, folks. It's Batman. Well, for God's sakes, how can you not sell Batman comics?
I mean, most of everything DC's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. It's Batman the Outsiders.
I know.
It's Superman and Wonder Woman. It's Batman and Superman. So
I know.
Yeah.
Pretty astounding. So let's talk a little bit about kind of on this line. Look, Oh, let me say something about it. I think that this is definitely possible. I think everything that they've said for the past 12 months that absolutely positively would not happen has happened. All of these people have been fired. All of this stuff with them consolidating staff, with them wrecking how many comics that they're sending out. It's everything that has been said will not happen is happening. It's all happening, folks. We're watching it month after month happen exactly as foretold by everyone who said that they are moving to digital comics, that they're moving to fewer printed comics, that they're moving to catering to collected volumes instead of toward the direct market, which is your local comic book store. They're getting out of the local comic book store business, folks, and because of that, and because of AT&T, if it was just Warner Brothers who was running the show, that would be one thing. But it's AT&T that's running the show, and they just want you to show them the money. That's it. That's all they care. What is the bottom line? How much money are you making me? That's it. And right now, DC Comics and maybe never will make the sort of money that if they just hand it off to someone else, they don't have to pay all of the, whatever. They don't have to pay staff fees. They don't have to worry about it. They just license it off to someone, whether it's IDW or Boom or Dark Horse or Steve Jeppe and Robert Kirkman. It seems like something that is possible. Jeppe and Kirkman, among many other people, have the money to buy this, to license these characters out, and probably make a superior product than whatever the staff is doing at DC right now. And in that vein, who has read anything in Future State?
I just read the one book, and honestly, I could have definitely left it.
Yeah. I read the next Batman. I was fascinated with something that was set in the future. Unfortunately, this is a case where it's set, 5 years in the future. It's not like Spider-Man 2099 where you have flying cars and crazy stuff. It's just long enough in the future where you can say that it's in the future, and you can mix up all of the characters. You can give some people some gray hair and justify mixing everything up. I don't understand the idea of this thing. It's 22, like the next Batman is 22 pages, main story, and then two 20-page stories that follow up. So 64 pages total. It's $7.99, which is, outrageous. And at least in the first issue, the main Batman story, which focuses on a new black Batman, is interesting, but the artwork is kind of, let's call it average. And the next two episodes that are in the thing are terrible.
That's been the main complaint. Brian at Wizards Asylum,
why not?
Picks up all of these things. He said, I don't mind paying extra for good backup stories.
Hell yeah.
He said, these backup stories have been trash.
They're terrible. So, it reminds me of the old annuals that they like, the crossover annuals or something, where you get, however many, 48 pages or whatever. And it's by kind of the B or C team, right, at whatever the studio is. This is not good. And they've got I don't want to bring it out. They have in the second episode, they have Katana, and they make her look terrible. She's dowdy. I just don't understand why hire someone who's not very good, to do this thing. If you're introducing a new black Batman with all of these side stories and characters and stuff around him, and you're going to force me to buy a 64-page comic, and you're only going to do 4 issues, why not give me 64 pages of the new Batman? That's what I'm interested in. Why are you giving me, future outsiders? Who cares? Who cares? Why are you giving me a terribly, terribly designed Katana story? Who cares? Why are you giving me substandard? This is DC Comics. We're going to talk to Doug later on about his project. There are plenty of artists in Doug's project that are better than the backup artist, well, the main artists that are in this DC Comics project. How is that possible? I mean, you only have two. Talent. You only have two major.
Maybe Doug should take over DC Comics.
Please, Doug, take over DC Comics. I would love to. I would love to draw Batman myself. Or if you take over Marvel, I'd like to draw Wolverine. Anyway, I don't understand. Future State is a disaster. It's $7.99 for each of for some of these issues. I don't know if they all are.
Not all of them, but
okay, but
the big ones are.
I mean, why are you doing this? Why take off 2 months from your regular storyline? Do you have that much disrespect for your audience? Is it that important that you check the check marks of, hey, now we've got a black Batman. Now we've got a Latina as Wonder Woman. Hey, look, we checked that check mark. I mean, is that really what we're doing here? It's poor, and it's embarrassing for DC, especially after what they've just gone through, especially after them pulling back from the direct market like they have. What is DC doing? I think that if you're looking at this rumor and you're looking at the trajectory of DC Comics, it all makes sense to me.
My one question, my one thought is, you keep saying, what are they doing? But I feel like the backups, maybe, how they keep saying that they're losing all of their contract people. Maybe all these backups are supposed to be test drives for the new talents that they can get in for cheaper and see what they can find. If I can find somebody that they can latch onto for cheaper. That's the only thing I can think of. But
I
do like this. A lot of my friends could.
No offense to these people.
Yeah,
but
like my friends get opportunities at DC, and who knows? But that's my only idea. Is maybe they're trying out test driving new people. There's been a lot of stagnation at the top. It feels like a lot of the same people rotating through over and over and over again throughout the last, 7-8 years maybe. So I don't know. Maybe they thought they could try new.
They're trying new blood.
Yeah.
I'm not blown away with the stories either. To be honest with you, the writers are not blowing me away either. I actually like the Black Batman character, and I like his supporting, group, but I'm only getting 22 pages of those characters, and I'm only going to get 4 issues. And it's like in the first issue, they weren't even telling me a story. It's just like, here's a day in the life of the new Batman. Who cares? Tell me you've only got 4 issues. Can you not tell me a story? I don't know. Doug, you could be right. This could be a big tryout. This could be a backstop against pandemic issues that they had because, for a period of time, they weren't producing anything. So they're like, at least we can assign some people this thing and we can put it out whenever we want to. And now this is the time that they're going to put that out. Maybe they're trying to create stuff to put into some new volumes, although I don't know. I don't think that I personally am not impressed with what they're putting out. If you're trying to build new characters, you should probably bring it. I don't feel like they're bringing it.
I think they're just filler stories that have been sitting on a shelf waiting for publication.
Possibly. That's a terrible reason to produce a comic.
Because they've utilized a whole lot of really good decisions lately.
Right. Mike says, Dirk, this isn't the first time DC has done this. They have suspended publishing on some titles 20 years ago. I think Aquaman is over, isn't it?
I don't know. It was still going last time I checked.
All right. Does anyone else have anything to say on this subject?
No, I think more to come as time. I'd be interested to see where DC's at May June, July, maybe even closer to the end of the year. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, for people out there, don't fear. You're always going to have Batman comics and Superman comics because somebody will, even if they buy the license rights just to publish the comics, you're still going to get stories. Just relax. This will all go over eventually.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next subject. Hey, this is a Quora question. It's just straight up. Actually, there's two questions in this Quora question. The first one is, why did George Lucas sell Lucasfilm to Disney? And number two, now we're however many years. What is it, about 7 years? Was it a good decision? Just your opinion. That's it. Who wants this first? I'm going to go to Shawn.
Why did Lucas sell? At the time, I believe he mentioned something about things had gotten too big. He was wanting to get back to his roots of directing smaller, tighter pictures, and he couldn't even do that. But supposedly, everything had gotten too big, everything had gotten too corporate. He just wanted to wash his hands of it. And so, as far as Lucas selling, yeah, I think it was a good decision for him at that time. Yeah, because mentally he was not there. He was fed up with the people. He was fed up with telling those gigantic epic stories. It was absolutely the right decision at that time. Do I blame Disney for the current state of Star Wars? Not completely. I do believe that there have been a lot of decisions, especially as we've talked about many a time, Kathleen Kennedy's placement over the Star Wars franchise that have clearly illustrated themselves to be of poor decision making. But with the show The Mandalorian and Disney Plus and all that, we can clearly see that there is potential for the future of the Star Wars franchise. They are incorporating Lucas to, still keep him involved in the raising of his baby. So, yeah, everything's going fine. They had a heck of a hiccup, but I think everything's going to work out just beautifully.
All right, Doug, what do you think?
Oh boy, I think this part of like what you were talking about. He wanted to focus more on tighter projects. I feel like maybe that when he wanted to do stuff like what was that movie, Red Tails and stuff like
Red
that.
Tails.
It's going to be it's going to be a constant bug on people's minds that they're always going to be like, when's the next Star Wars? When's the next Star Wars? And he couldn't escape that when he's trying to sell other things,
True.
right? And when something like that doesn't do as well as he had hoped, then people start, well, what's going on with Star Wars? What is that gonna be a problem? Is he gonna be an issue when that comes back around again? So I think it was just too much of an albatross around his neck, just was it the right decision at the time? I'm sure he probably was burnt out, I would imagine, and it was the right decision for him at that moment. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure anybody but Disney could have done.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you guys are all saying, it's some of the decisions that Disney made. It's like it's head scratching.
Scott, what do you think, man?
All right, I've muted myself. Sorry. I mean, let's think about this from Lucas's perspective. He makes a movie. We get really happy. We say, why didn't you do this, 25 years ago? And then it comes out, and then we clap the first night when we see, Jar Jar Binks and everything. And then we let it kind of soak in, and then we complain. And I'm not saying some of the complaints are not validated. Some of the scripts are pretty terrible. Some of the choices he makes, he's redone the original Star Wars trilogy, how many different times with every time a new technology came out, he wanted to tweak it and tweak it and tweak it. It was the painting that was never, the paint was never dry on that painting, you know? So I don't, I'm sure there's better reasons, but yeah, I can see part of him saying like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to sell it off, or even maybe even popped off. Well, sure, I'd sell it for X amount of money. And then somebody actually offered it and he's like, fine, take it. I'm tired of hearing about crap, you know, like, you know, I created all this stuff and you guys just bitch and moan and bitch and moan, bitch and moan. And so here, you know, was it a good decision? I mean, yeah, I think overall, you know, if that was my father who sold that stuff off, would I be complaining? Probably, because I don't know if you grow up with a desire to like follow in your father's footsteps to create new stories in the Star Wars universe, but wouldn't that have been awesome? That's what I think of from a certain perspective, but at the same time, his kids probably don't care because they're filthy rich as well.
They probably appreciate that kind of
more money than they'll ever need. So I don't know. I mean, like, it's a win-win, right? Disney's not going to really do anything terrible with it. They haven't made the greatest decision, but nothing's like really super terrible. We have gotten, you know, by Disney owning Marvel, we also got, you know, cool, you know, Star Wars comics ever since this merger's happened, with good creative teams on it, you know, not just a bunch of people that we haven't heard of or anything before. So we have like top class creators on these Star Wars projects in a comic format. And as a comic fan, I'm really happy for that.
They are.
I don't like the fact that, you know, every probably Star Wars movie from here on out is going to have some cutesy, you know, we see that formula, you know, you have your little Groot kind of cutesy animal type thing that's going to be in every little movie so they can sell 100 dolls, and then you're going to have some female lead somewhere along the way so they can turn her into a Disney princess, and it's going to be very formulaic in that sense, but probably win-win for everybody, right?
I think Lucas was just done. I mean, let's be honest, there's a very vocal minority in the Star Wars community that is exceptionally toxic and is pretty much not happy with anything besides their head canon, which means the canon that's in their head. And if it doesn't do that, and it can't possibly do that, they're going to bitch about it. And I think that after dealing with that for, you know, however many, 20 years, 25 years, he probably thought, you know, I can just sell this thing off and let someone else do it, and then they can take the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune or whatever, and you know, then it's off my back. I'll take the money. And I mean, at the time he said he was going to do a bunch of independent features like small films and stuff. He hasn't done a damn thing. But you know, he's not the youngest guy either. There's nothing wrong with taking that $4 billion and enjoying his life, and sitting in the back seat for a change and allowing someone else to drive the franchise. I think that Disney, look, I think it was Doug that said, who else are they going to sell it to? Yeah, you're going to sell it to Sony. You know, Sony may be selling out their whole catalog to someone at some point. You're going to sell it to Fox. They just sold to Disney. Disney's the only company that will safeguard this franchise in, you know, long into the future. And I believe that one way or another, Disney will ultimately course correct, because much like AT&T, they are looking at money. And if they are not producing the sort of content that people are willing to go to see stuff at the movies or pay for Disney Plus or buy action figures on, then they're going to change that. That's going to be corrected one way or the other. If people stop going to see these movies, they're going to be like, what do we have to do to get those people back? I think there have been some bright moments. Rogue One was quite good, I think.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Maybe the best Star Wars movie we've seen.
I kind of felt that it was the best Star Wars movie, at least since Empire Strikes Back.
For sure.
You know, Clone Wars has been, excellent. Rebels also excellent. And I mean, we've talked many times lately about The Mandalorian, and some of us are enjoying it more than others, but I think all of us are enjoying it. And I think that it's another bright spot. I think one way or another, Disney's going to make this thing work. And ultimately, I think Lucas made the right decision. Ironically, I think that it's possible that Disney ropes Lucas back in as a consultant on some stuff, specifically to make sure that whatever they're doing feels more like Star Wars, and it gives them a little coverage because they're like, well, Lucas likes it.
Yeah.
So I think that we're probably going to see more Lucas involved in this stuff. It's certainly happening. I mean, there's a lot of pictures of Lucas on the set of The Mandalorian, and I think that The Mandalorian it feels very much like Star Wars to me. So I think ultimately it was a good decision. Are we getting anything? We're getting no comments, which is amazing from our viewers. Brian James.
They might have lost power.
That's true.
You got to remember what's going on. Rolling blackouts. So this is pretty historic.
I'm surprised that they don't have almost everyone has an opinion on Star Wars. Brian James says, I think it's pretty clear Ranking Studios should have been awarded the franchise. Are we talking about DC Comics, or are we talking about Star Wars?
I'd rather have the Star Wars one.
Would you? Would you really?
Maybe. I don't know, though. I could do some things.
Which would you rather have, Star Wars or DC Comics?
Ooh, man,
how about that?
That's a tough one. Probably DC Comics, because you could probably go up easier than you could with Star Wars.
I guess I would have to take Star Wars if they're offering.
I have no love for DC.
Really, you don't like DC?
Sean's never been a DC guy.
I've never been a DC guy. I've enjoyed Batman. He's a common person. He has no abilities other than, I believe he stated his superpower was that he's rich. God bless you. Beyond that, I have never been a huge fan of the characters.
So wow. So it's not much of a decision. I know the project that you would do, because you've talked about it many times. You want to do a Stormtrooper centric storyline.
Absolutely. It would be Saving Private Ryan with Stormtroopers. I
think you could do that. I think it's actually a pretty good
idea. And it would be from the Stormtroopers' perspective. I want to show, absolutely. I would take that in a heartbeat.
I think I'd have to pick DC because I feel like Star Wars probably makes more money, better opportunity for money. I just don't think I could put up with the fan base constantly. I know DCs are pretty.
They're pretty tough too, but not as bad.
Star Wars is not as much as Star Wars.
There's going to be, and again, there's no way you're going to make everyone happy. Even if you wiped out the sequel series, you're going to make a lot of people mad, particularly the younger crowd that grew up with Rey and Finn and all that. And they're going to why are you killing those guys off? There's no way you're going to make everyone happy. It's just not going to happen.
That's true.
Mike says DC's the biggest. They need the most work. They need the most help, I guess.
I like this next one here.
Brian James says, I'd like Shawn to write the character arc where Jar Jar is killed by an AT-AT. Not a very exciting character.
Easily done.
That sounds like maybe a one page story there.
Yes. I could, yes. Totally.
Scott Rogers says, I think that besides the recent issues with The Mandalorian, I really believe that that it is the best thing that Disney's produced in years.
I agree.
Yeah. I like WandaVision too.
I mean, we never got a Star Wars series until Disney took over. So that tells you a lot, right? I mean,
yeah. And it's It's almost as good. I mean, visually speaking, it's almost as good as the movies.
This is literally the first time they've done a live action TV series, and
long overdue.
It's
done so well.
Amazing,
and they've delivered. We've got 2 seasons. The second season was twice as good, I think, as the first season. Mike says, I'd love to bring back the sci-fi aspect that was popular in the 60s. Mm-hmm. Are you talking about
probably DC Comics?
Get what was it, Commandy? Love to see a Commandy comic again. That would be cool.
I'm down with that. Ronnie says, I've never been into Star Wars genre. I know, I'm truly sorry. It's what ruined Star Wars for him was Jar Jar Binks.
Well, all right.
I mean, that didn't ruin the whole thing for me.
That was 20 years ago.
Right. He was minimized after the first movie.
Shawn, there was a great Commandy series that
Walt's
came
been
out.
Driving. Walt is walking. He's still watching from his car.
Oh, that's good.
But he would take DC.
There was a Commandy series where every issue they handed it off to a different creative team.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So like issue 1 would be written by, let's say Doug wrote it and I drew it. And then at the end of the episode, a new creative team took over and the story had to like continue.
Oh, no.
I thought it was really good. I wouldn't say it was great, but there was issues that were really great. The Kevin Eastman issue was just phenomenal. After I read the issues, I sent them to Pete Nifton because Pete hadn't read them yet, but
Mike says that was great.
Yeah, so Mike knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, so really, if you want to look at that, it's very interesting to, like, they leave every issue with a cliffhanger, and then they hand it off to another team. And supposedly, they really did just hand it off to somebody and says, okay, he's going to be falling out of a plane. Do whatever you want to do.
I like that.
That makes me think of this is mildly off topic. There was a comedy troupe that on stage.
Bob Hope?
No, more recent. I
just flew in from Albuquerque, and boy, my arm's tired.
The first person would start the story, and then they handed it off to the next comedian, who literally all of it is improv. So the next comedian would have to take that, keep it funny, but keep it moving, and on and on and on and on. And yeah, it was absolutely hilarious, especially by the time he got to the end. It was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to look up that Commandy. That was one of the earlier comics I remember from my youth.
It was done, I think, every bit of 2 to 3 years ago. They were celebrating like the anniversary of Jack Kirby and stuff. So
okay.
Yeah.
The Commandy when they did those newspaper comics, that Commandy series and that was really well done. I can't think of what that's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
Scott Rogers says, I know I'm dating myself, but I would love to see an Ambush Bug series, especially his character from the 80s. For the record, we have mentioned Ambush Bug twice tonight.
Hey, there's a lot of people that are fans of Ambush Bug, and to be honest, I did not read him originally in the 80s. So I didn't get the character until I think it was that comic series called 52. That was a weekly comic. I think he was in that for a little bit. But anyways, so yes. I don't really understand the love for Ambush Bug, but to be fair, I didn't read it right when it came out. So but if DC's gonna sell stuff, since we're back to this, I'd like to buy the Wild Dog character, because that was like when I first started buying comics. I bought a Wild Dog #1 off the newsstand, and I was like, this is my DC moment.
I'm a big fan of the Question. I could definitely do a Question comic. I'd return him to his martial arts roots like he had back in the 80s.
If we're going to talk about Ambush Bug one more time, can we also say Ambush Bug or Heckler?
Why not?
Oh,
Heckler.
I like Heckler.
Interesting.
I like Heckler.
Yeah, Heckler, I read those. Bad.
Keith Giffen. I think both of them Keith Giffen, if I remember right.
I think so as well. I really like that design.
How about Shade the Changing Man?
I didn't care for
Doom Patrol. Oh, I'd love to do Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol would be cool. They've been redone so many times, so I don't know if anybody's going to take them serious.
That's true. You'd have to do like something completely different with them.
Man, the old Doom Patrol, since we're on this big tangent, the original stuff.
We're so far off the mark.
That is some really good comic stuff. It's amazing how like you had this band of like characters, these misfits with somebody in a wheelchair, and the X-Men survived while the Doom Patrol got canceled because of bad sales, and their sales were even higher than the X-Men. So like everybody forgets that some of those Doom Patrol issues were really good stuff back in the day. So
yeah,
the original stuff. Oh yeah, Judah Master. That.
We had Mark McKenna on, who did the inking for Doom Patrol, by the way.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Before Scott was on here, I thought about asking him to be on here tonight because I knew that he would have some interesting.
Yeah, we're only here because the weather allowed my work to shut down. So.
That's sad, but I appreciate you being on here. Mike says the original Doom Patrol stories were so good.
Yeah, they were good creative team on those guys.
And whose line is it? Everyone wants you to know, Shawn. What about OMAC?
Man, I was a big fan of OMAC too.
You're so far off the Star Wars universe, folks.
That's all right. We're buying characters now.
We are. They're all on sale. You heard it here first. You heard it here last.
This is Twitter thread all over again. That was
right. All right, we're going to go to our feature presentation. Hey, our guest tonight is Doug Wood, a disabled writer from Peculiar, Missouri. I can't say Missouri.
That's okay.
It's so cold in here that my lips are... Doug's first published comic, Leap M, was released from Action Labs. Doug ran a Kickstarter raising $7,000 for his graphic novel, Ultramax. That's not too shabby. That's what he was on here for last time. His comic, Machines Ghost, was named a finalist for Best Short Comic by Platform Comic. He has a new gig, which I will let him tell you about, and we're looking forward to hearing about it. Doug, let's hear about what you've got coming up here, man.
Okay. I am running a Kickstarter for this book right here. It's called Project Big Hype. It is very big.
It's huge.
It is size-wise, it's the size of a manga book. So we try to keep it small.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Costs down.
Hey, you've got a printed copy there, man.
Yeah, I went and paid out of pocket for this before the Kickstarter.
No kidding.
It's all black and white. I know there's certain generation that loves black and white. There's some of the kids that love manga that love black and white. We just it's cheaper, and I don't know why. No, this is one of my favorite ones. I don't know why like nobody's ever tried this. So many people talk about, hey, let's try something different in the comics industry. Why are we not trying what works in Japan? The manga industry is doing so much better than the US at all times. So I said, screw it. I may be one of the newer people in the industry, but I'm going to try this out. So I contacted a bunch of big name indie creators. I said, hey, would you be willing to write or draw a piece for this? Basically, you'd be anchoring it. I get you guys in on the 20-page stories, something big and substantial, and then bring in some young talent, some new upcomers, some people that maybe not have gotten a real shot at things, and give them a shot to be alongside of you and see if people will do that. I let everybody keep their rights of the book. So once they're done, if they want to turn around and run a Kickstarter for their own thing or publish it with somebody else, they can. It's just a jumping off point, basically. So it's you maybe find your new favorite series here. Who knows? It's what I'm trying to do is something different, give people chances, trying new things, and hopefully it'll work.
Doug, this is very cool that you're doing this. There's so many things about this that I like.
It launches tomorrow.
Yes.
What time tomorrow can people find this on
Kickstarter? Shawn, could you bring up the page, please?
I'm trying to wake up at 8:00 and launch it around Central Time.
Okay.
We already have over 215 supporters. I was really proud about that.
You already have.
We're live and it's late at night.
How did they do that?
No, followed it. Just the pre-launch.
I followed it.
To let you know. Yeah.
I followed it about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. I'll let you guys in on the secret because you guys are cool. And Kickstarter actually reached out to us and we're like, hey, we really like this. Let us help promote it. And we already are made a project they love pre-launch because they liked the idea and they liked what we were bringing. So I'm hoping this does really well because looks like it's going to do really well so far.
I think it's a great idea. It has that manga feel, that big like Shonen Jump or those little trades of like One Punch Man and all that stuff that just recently I read and stuff. And I'm really excited, and I'd like to know. There's several stories, and I think me looking through this every time, there's two stories that really stand out to me. One is Soul. That's the very first story in the book.
Yeah.
Did you stack those in any type of like, this one's going to open up the book versus this one's going to be at the end? Because I feel like I've seen that artwork before. It feels very familiar to me. It feels very manga-ish, and at the same time, is it fair to say American-ish?
Yeah, right.
all at the same time.
Right.
And I know that's kind of describing it weird. It feels very. It's almost like setting a pace for the book and things to come. There's like the zipatone washes and stuff like that through that there, the grays, the gradients and stuff like that. Through all your stories, I think you picked a great one to lead the book open with, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Yeah. And I wanted to know, was that on purpose?
It was two factors. The cover is by the same artist, Sam Owens. He drew this. It's for a different story in the book, but he was actually the first one done. And I was like, hey, man, your first one done. Would you like to do the cover too? And he said, sure. And then so I wanted to continue on that with the first story being his, which is Soul. And it's just the throwback to the manga early days, and I really love it. Sorry, my fingers are in the way. And that was the other reason was his is really kind of the most Shonen Jump feel to it. So I wanted that to go first along with, because the cover, you go from cover, you're seeing his art, you're going into the story, it's his art, plus it's manga, the most manga there is. So that was my idea.
Okay.
Let me say, if you have a question for Doug, get it in wherever you're watching us, because we'll put it up there for him. What was it like to coordinate with all of these artists and writers? I mean, this thing is 300 pages. It looks like a phone book.
It is. It's like.
I mean, seriously. For
people used to make fun of those Dave Sims service phone. They called them phone books. I feel like this is up there.
Yeah, for people who are younger don't know what a phone book looks like, but it looks like this comic that he's got. What was it like to coordinate with all of those artists and writers? I mean, this is a big haul.
So a little preamble. I talked to a few people that have run these big books before, and they said, oh man, I've done it with like 3 editors at the most. There's no way you're going to do this. There's no way you're going to do this. So I went out and I got a battalion of editors. There was 13 of us in total. That really helped lighten the load. There was still times where I just had to skip them and go right to the creators and say, hey, is this going to happen? Or are we going to get this? Are we going to get this to go? And so there was a lot of head wrangling for me and pushing people, but I think the work will really speak for itself because it's a really pretty book.
I have some artwork to share, and
Please.
Shawn has the thing.
It's easier than in the book.
Sure. Let me ask: is that the link there?
Yes, that's the pre-launch. If you click on that to get notified tomorrow, it'll be launching the live. I'm trying to wake up at 8:00. My power, like everybody else's, has been going off.
Man,
so maybe I wake up early. Maybe I launch a little early because I'm up and we don't have, and I'm freezing, and I'm like,
people don't understand
launch it on my phone.
What's going on around here. What we're going through to get you a show tonight.
Yeah.
I think people know the whole United States is pretty much affected by it.
I lost power 3 times this week. So
Yeah, there's the soul. That's the story I was talking about.
Yeah. Writer is David Lins. It's his first time doing comics. He's been a comic
Stop right there,
reviewer for a long time, and he teamed up with Sam Owens. I've been friends with him. He has been a very big person to help me with my career. He's given me so much advice. So I was so happy he could get in on this. And David, man, he's going to blow up because I think he can really do some amazing stuff. So I'm happy that they got to be in this.
At the end of these stories, you, on some of the creators, you have these sketches of the people who did it. What was the thought behind that?
Okay, so there were some people that came in right away and told me yes. Like I said, this was a crazy ask. I was like, I want to put together, at the time I was saying 400-page book. I want to put together this 400-page book. It's going to be crazy. And these people that I got, the artist Centerman to draw, those were the first people to say yes. And I just wanted to honor them. And I said, could you draw these guys for me? And we're going to put them in the book because it's just my small thank you to these people for believing in me and giving me the chance to try this out. And I hope I can reward them by getting the successful Kickstarter.
I would like to, ironically enough, talk about the last story in the book. I think it's called Forgive Me, Father, I Have Sinned. The art style on this, and what I think's great about this book is you have everything in here. You have that opening story that's more traditional manga style, and then you have cartoony artwork, you have serious artwork, you have, you cover the gambit in all these stories, and I think it's a good reflection and a good, you were trying to make an American manga type book, and I think you've done it well. And I think the end, I think his art is like, it's like crazy good and stylistic at the same time. I don't know if we have that art. I'm looking at it now, but really impressive with that story, that artist, his page layouts, his grays, his storytelling, all of it.
Is that it, guys?
Yes, that's.
I think I grabbed that. I think I grabbed a still frame of that.
Oh gosh, yes.
As all stories about artists Centerman, I have to start. He is a crazy man. He was given an 8-page script, and he said nope. And I said okay. And he said it's 20 pages, and he drew 20 pages. And a lot of them are double-page spreads, and they're just freaking insane. You guys can look through it right here.
You're looking at 2 pages there, folks.
The level of detail is
each of those is 2 pages. So each of those.
And so Centerman actually is I got an upcoming project at a big publisher. I can't say which right now because I was given the secrets. But this guy is going to be a big person, I think.
I see it.
I was lucky. He came to me and said, "Hey man, do you want to do a story?" And I was gonna have him write for me, but I felt like my friend Joe Donahue, who wrote this story, I was like, no, let me give it. Even though it was like a big, oh man, I'm giving it up. But I gave Joe, my friend Joe, the opportunity to work with Centerman, and I think it really came.
That is good work.
Across is awesome.
That's good work. Let me get some of these things because I'd loaded some of these pictures up. It'll be a little bit better, I think. There's the first one that I grabbed.
Mm-hmm. This is Roxy Rewind. David Pepos. I'm sorry, names.
That's okay, man.
We are putting
you on the spot here.
He is one of the big indie names that we got. I was so happy he said yes. He just had a Kickstarter right around the last year, around one mine, and he made a ton of money. People really loved that Oz book. It was big.
Yeah.
And he just recently launched Scout's Honor at Aftershock, and he's got a lot more on his plate, and he's just going to keep going and going. It's with his artist. Yeah, I think so too.
I like the character.
Jorge Santiago Jr. Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah.
Jorge Santiago has done work with him before. They did Spencer and Locke at Action Lab, and so this is another continuation of their work together. And I'm just
cool
funny,
that
our
you got
relationship
those
started
guys.
with me going, yeah, I thought so too. He was saying, "Hey, ask me anything," and I just joked around and said, "Will you be my senpai?" And that's how our relationship started, because he said yes. So
cool.
He's my
Very
senpai.
cool. Very cool. What about this one, Doug?
Okay, this is Lane Pitts is the writer. He's done stuff for Boom Studios, WWE comics.
Yeah, those were good
Larry
comics.
Watts, I really like. You always think, licensed wrestling comics, but he did an amazing job. They really did. And this is Larry Watts. He's done stuff for like Xenoscope, like the Robin Hood series, and I can't think of everything off the top of my head. Sorry,
dude, you're doing really well. I mean, I don't expect you to remember all these people.
There's at least 72.
I don't mean to put you on the. I know exactly. I don't expect you to remember all these people. Just, give me some thoughts about it. If you can remember them, that's cool. I mean, I would not be able to remember all these people.
Those Boom Studio WWE comics were the best wrestling comics that we've had maybe ever, just because they took existing storylines instead of just making up BS, and they went ahead and said, okay, these things happened 6 months ago at pay-per-views. We're going to tell you the story in between the story. And it was like them traveling around and like why they got into feuds. And besides like spilling a cup of coffee at each other on camera, there was other stuff leading into it. They were, for a wrestling comic that I only bought because of wrestling, they turned out to actually be very entertaining stories. So he's a good writer.
Yeah. This one is Matt Harding and Mark Simmons. Matt was the very first person who was on board. I can't think of him enough. He works for Madefire. They do the motion graphic comics. It's owned by I think like Liam Sharp and people. And
nice.
Anyways, he said yes, and
dude, that is really good work.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is so happy that he could be a part of this.
Stellar.
Oh, this is my friend. This is I can't remember if she wrote down her name as her screen name or not. Esther O. Airbound. I have asked her to work with me a million times. Every time I start a new project, I DM her and I say, please, will you work with me? And she won't, because she had a sweet job that she didn't need to make comics. So I was happy that she was willing to do this short project inside this book.
Yeah. That's the
Centerman again. He's just crazy.
Oh man, I mean that. I was looking at those and it's like, this is amazing. This is really good stuff.
This is J. Paul Sheik. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Gosh, please forgive me, Jay. He's a really good friend as well.
People don't realize how I'm putting you on the spot here, Doug, and I'm sorry, but you are doing a great job.
You're fine. And Jared Loane, he just did. So the writer just did Mad Cave Studios' Dryfoot. So he's starting to get out there, and Jay is got another big gig in the works that is also secret. I guess can't talk about that, but he's gonna break out here soon too. So I was happy that once again I was like, it kind of does feel like I was like a talent scout at times, because people that I picked were like, there's like. I got these up and comers, and then a lot of them like got agents or book deals. Like my friend, suddenly they have deals at Scout, Image, and it's like either I was ahead of the schedule or they didn't tell me until after we started working together or something. But it was awesome.
Let me see what people are saying here. Ronnie says this is a great idea, Doug.
Thank you so much. I hope everybody likes it.
Walt says, glad that you're not in Texas.
How low did it get for you guys? It was -11 or -16 today for us.
It was about -15 or something this morning.
Yeah, it was bad.
Good times.
We didn't break all the records that they wanted, but we got close.
No, but it's still extraordinary and pretty crazy.
We did set a couple though.
Yeah, that's true.
We did. Ronnie says he really likes the artwork in those pages, and that stuff is better than 75% that's out there. I'd like to point out, this thing is 300 pages long. We did not show you even a fraction of, of what's really in there. Whatever type of artwork that you like, whatever type of stories, characters, whatever, it's in there. It's in there, and it's really good. This is really good work.
Yeah.
No matter what it is that you like and you
sadness,
enjoy.
There's westerns, there's cute animals. It doesn't matter. There's something there for you. There's so much. There's superheroes. Just, I don't know. There's so many things. I'm hoping people will find something they like on there.
This is a book I plan on getting, and then I can see my daughters reading a few of the stories out of it. Maybe not everything, but there's going to be stories in there for them, and there's going to be stuff in there for me and everything else.
If you want something to read for a weekend, I mean, like you have a full weekend to just read comics, I mean, you could literally occupy yourself for a long time with this one book.
Yeah.
So, Doug, I know you're not the type of guy that's gonna what do they say, count your chickens until they're hatched type deal, but I very much see this project funding. Personally, I see this project funding, and
I see it too.
I think the fact that you gathered your own form of like the Justice League on your own and did this, I really think you're going to be shocked and surprised at where this is going to lead you in the future. So when you become a big deal, we want you to still come back on the show and remember us.
Yeah, don't forget about us. When you take such a big head that you won't talk to us anymore.
Yeah, when you take over DC Comics and Disney.
Yeah.
And, no, I really think you're going to see tremendous positive feedback from this project and stuff, because it's like you said, it's not easy to get all these people together. I mean, it's hard to get 4 guys together and do things, let alone as many as you got together. So.
Yeah, people seem to be enthusiastic. I've been getting offers for volume 2, and I'm like, let's see if this works out first, because I don't want to be that person. So I just said, hey, if things, I'm open to talking to people, but until then.
What is the book going to cost people for your Kickstarter? Can you give prices now?
Yeah, that's fine. It's close enough. The early bird, I'm giving out just a few small section. We're trying to put a digital at 10 for the early bird and 15 for the physical early bird, and like that goes pretty quickly. $50? I'm sorry. Yeah,
that is a good deal.
And for 300 pages, and then if you missed the early bird, and I'm sorry, then it's going to be $25 per page. Per page, per book.
Per book.
For the printed book. Okay.
25.
You stick with 25 per page. That's beautiful.
25 per book is still a good deal.
I feel like there's a lot of anthologies that are much smaller, and they charge about the same price. So I'm hoping it's tangible. Sorry, can't talk now.
That's all right.
You're doing great.
Is the early bird a time limit, or like the first 100 copies type limit?
I tried to do a time limit. The Kickstarter, it does have that, but it was bugging out for some reason. So I just set it to a very small amount to.
Okay.
Wow.
So get in there early.
Ronnie says
that's what people do, I guess.
He's going to the Kickstarter right now, but it's not available, buddy.
It's not available.
I've already seen some art in there that I love. So
tomorrow around 8ish Central Time.
Beat Doug to Kickstarter. So you'll be first. You'll be first there. We're just waiting to find out when he gets up.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
That's funny.
I forgot what I was going to say.
That's all right.
That's okay, man.
Do you have other tiers, like signed copy, or a tier that gets you both the digital and the physical, or anything like that?
Once you buy the physical, you automatically get the digital as well. There are a few other ones, like some of the projects it covers, we're gonna do like postcards. So if you wanted to get like a couple of the postcards or all the postcards and make a little like art collage, you can. Mm-hmm. Some of the retailers have reached out to us, which is completely boggles me, but they said that they would be interested, and those are the lowest price points I could sell the comics. So I think it's 3 for $50, 6 for $90. So those are around like $15 a pop if you're like $15, $16 a pop for if you're a real a store. So hoping. Because I know a lot of stores say, "Hey, Kickstarter just doesn't work. The profits are not there. It's just too razor thin. It's a terrible idea." And I'm hoping that those numbers work out for people.
Right. Well, you'll have some bites on that for sure.
For people who are collectors, how many original characters are in this thing for the first time?
Oh, jeez.
Tons, right? Well, seriously, if you want the first appearance.
Yeah, there's 24 different stories. I mean, there's so many different characters. I couldn't count them all. But
yeah,
I didn't consider that. I haven't pushed that angle yet.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Are all the stories original? Meaning, like, is there any, like, let's say Soul, for example, did it already have its kind of own story somewhere else, and you just get another taste of it here, or is everything brand new content?
Everything is first taste here.
Okay,
like I said, people can use this as a jump off and do their own thing, but it's first run here, first time ever seen in print here.
Cool. Do people already plan on spinning their own titles out?
Sorry, what was that?
I said, did anybody plan on spinning their own title out of one of these stories?
I'm pretty sure like Roxy Rewind, he definitely left it open-ended to keep going, and some of the other ones nobody's really giving me there, but I'm hoping once they see the success of this thing, maybe they'll give me a more firm commitment.
Right. That's cool.
How far back does this go? When did you start doing this?
I think around June.
Jeez.
I started, like, it was cold calling DMs basically. Like, I just said, "Hey, I know this person," and I just, or didn't even. Oh, actually, I take that back. A lot of people I didn't know. I just said, "Hey, I'm doing this crazy idea.
Would you got be up in their DMs?"
Yeah, there were so many people that said yes, and I couldn't believe it because like. It's a crazy idea. Like I said, it's super huge. It's super.
It's
the word I'm trying to think of.
It's bold.
Yeah, it's very bold because, I mean, you say you're talking that big, many numbers, that many moving parts. You're like, this guy has never done anything on this level. He's got one book to his name because I didn't even have that Kickstarter yet. So it's like, and people, everybody said yes. There was one person who said no that I got in their DMs, and a few months, or actually a couple weeks later, their friend said, "Hey, I got that person back on board." So even the person that said no came back.
Came back on.
That's great.
I suspect that they're going to be very happy that they joined back in there. That's my thought on that. So you said it was 72 creators. Correct.
I think that was the last I remember. Is there may be a few more just because some of the letters got added on later than we were, but at last count I had like at least 72 people.
About 72 creators, 300 pages, 24 stories, all original characters. First taste, as you say, which is a great phrase. This is quite a project. I mean, and at a price it's made to move. I mean, you could have charged more on these things, but I think that you are offering it at a great price. So, I mean, I think that people that hear about this probably love the idea of an American-born manga project. I think it sells itself.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, pretty exciting. And seeing it in print, show the actual thing again. One last time, if you would, the print version.
I'm sorry, what was that? Cut out. Sorry.
That's okay, man.
Can you show the print version?
Show the print version one more time, please.
Oh, yep,
so people can see, because it looks so cool.
Thank you. I want to say last thing too about the book is that after we make the goal of 6,000, every extra dollar we make, it's going totally to the creators.
Mm.
If we make money, I keep zero. I'm not keeping any money. I'm not keeping any profit. I can't keep money and profit because I'm a disabled veteran, and that's against the rules. So all money goes to every creative in this book. So make me pay people is what I've been saying too. If you like people getting money for their creatives, make me pay them to keep going.
That's awesome, man.
Doug, I just love you, man, for so many reasons. What a great idea. What a way to get all of these people involved in this thing. And you just said a mouthful there, which is, if you support this thing, if it goes over what it takes to print the thing, then the money starts going to the creators, and you're doing it for them. You're doing it for them. So get over there.
I just wanted to do something different in the publishing space, so I'm hoping people will respect that.
You're doing it. How long does this thing run?
How long is the Kickstarter project, Doug?
Well,
we might be cutting.
Are we losing him?
Doug, you hear us?
Kind of.
How long is the project going to be on Kickstarter?
We're losing him.
That's
robot
okay.
Robot voice.
It could be.
You guys back?
Yep, we're here.
No.
No.
Robot voice. Dang. Why is it every time at the end?
I'm going to try one more time to get. Do you know when it's going to end, Doug? It's okay. Hang with it. That's okay. We'll move on to the next thing. Stick with us, please. And we'll move on to the next. We'll move on to the next thing. Uh-oh. I hope we don't lose him, man. But if we do, we at least got the stuff out there. Next, wait a minute. We got two questions here. Ashell says, you're still alive. I didn't miss it.
Yeah, we're still alive. Cold.
Ashell says, looking smoking hot in that red, Shawn. You missed him last week. He was all in red. So was Scott. Scott was also in red. And we were wondering where the heck you were to see if you would compliment Scott as well.
No. Should I, Shawn?
Jury says, Doug, you're doing everything right. Doug is not with us right now, but he might be. He's trying to get back in. It's all okay. I'm going to go to the next segment. Oh. Doug says, sorry, internet is potatoes.
Man,
I've never heard that phrase, but I love it. Wait a minute. I think he may be back.
He's trying.
Hello.
Hey!
How do we sound? Are we there yet?
Yeah, you're not robots anymore.
Awesome.
The robots were scary.
So my last question to you was, when does the project end? How long do people have to get out there and do the Kickstarter?
It's going to be 30 days long. It ends March 17th, 30 days from tomorrow. So
cool. Plenty of time to get out there. But
if you can't make it because the bill's this week or bill's this month, maybe next month it'll be
because your pipes are burst.
Yeah. I understand that.
But if you can get up about the time that Doug gets up tomorrow, you can get that sweet early bird special. Let's do 6,000 tomorrow.
That'd be awesome.
I'm bidding on it.
I'm dreaming the dream here.
Although I'm not getting up early. So I may miss it.
I'll probably be awake.
Ashell says, sorry, I disappointed you. Yeah. Yep. Not much we can do. And Scott, sorry, Scott, I can't believe you said that.
Said what? You don't like me in red?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Red's not my color. That's why nature is taking over and making it white.
It's fixing things.
Exactly.
All right, so we're on blast. We're going to talk about things that we have, television shows, movies we've watched, games we've played, things we've read, anything that we want to promote, something that that we've consumed lately. And for that first, I'm going to go to Shawn.
Haven't had any time to really sit down and read or watch anything. I was finishing up a project. Turned out great, by the way.
Are you going to share?
Did play a lot of Division. Did
y'all stream that on Twitch?
Yes, we did.
We did.
Yep. I mean, go ahead and tell them about it, man. Dude, you're up. Tell them about what we did.
That we play. Dirk and I played the Division on Twitch, where we started from the beginning of the game, and we've just kind of been taking you along our adventure in the.
So what's the Division? I don't know what the Division is. Maybe other people don't either.
The Division is a third-person shooter looter. You're running around the Division 2, which is the game we're playing. You're running around the streets of Washington, D.C. After a virus has been let loose that has.
So you're playing 2021.
Right. The game, 2021, the game.
2021, the game.
It is surprisingly similar. I mean, it's, the Division's not. The Division is worse than what we're doing, but not a lot worse.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it is 2021. Only instead of everybody being cooped up in their homes, they've been evacuated from the central areas, and various gangs have risen up to take over and basically just destroy the place. And you, as a Division agent, are called to take out the trash, so to speak.
You're playing as your fathers, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I originally I'd created a character that I tried utilizing their character creation to create somebody that looked, somewhat like my dad, just to have fun with it. I always try to make a character that looks like me. This was my opportunity to basically make me with darker hair. That's pretty much. If you've ever met my dad, if you've ever met my dad, I'm a clone. But in any case, so yeah, I'm trying to play it a little bit more, more how my dad would react to certain things and what have you, and just having fun with it.
I too am playing my dad, although it's not. I don't think it's as convincing as Shawn's. The character generation on the Division and the Division 2 is pretty lackluster. It's okay.
They just want you to be able to. They just want you to make an individual character, not your individual character.
Right. And I mean, I can't ever get this face in stuff unless it's a really good character generator. I could have gotten my dad if they just had a little, just marginally better, but they don't.
So your dad's more plain than you? Is that what you're saying?
He's more normal than me. My face is weird.
What is the game political? That's what I had to ask.
It's really not.
No?
No.
They were saying it wasn't, and there was a big uproar about that.
There's a lot of situations that are what I would dare say ambiguous. It very moderate. They're not leaning left, they're not leaning right. Here's a situation, here's how these characters are dealing with it. Now you're thrown in the middle, have a ball.
I'm sure that someone can find something to be offended by.
Sure.
If they're into that.
Everybody can find
if
something.
If they're into being offended, I'm sure you can come up with something.
Me, I
But
just like running
I think
around.
by and large they run it right straight down the middle and try to not be terribly political.
I just enjoy running around shooting people in the face.
So
It's a stress reliever.
Not to get on this tangent, but are y'all playing on 2 separate machines and then like joining together to play?
We are.
Okay, that's cool.
We are both playing at the same time. We're on 2 different machines, and I'm broadcasting through the Taskforce Geek Twitch, and Shawn is broadcasting through. Go ahead and spell it out, please, because I'll f it up.
It's
PLNSTGFX, Plain State Graphics.
And you should follow Shawn anyway, because he plays a lot of video games, and but you can literally watch both of us play on from two different angles at the same time, and we're coordinating with each other. For some reason, our sound is not coming through for each other, and I think it's probably on my end. So I'm going to try to fix that next time. We had a lot of fun doing. I thought it was a blast. Actually, we're playing from the very beginning, so we're playing with brand new characters. All the stuff that we're used to having with these characters are not there because these are brand new characters. We're playing our dads. It's pretty fun.
That's cool.
This is, and I just want to say, this is the 4th character. You've only got a maximum of 4 characters. This is the 4th character I've played this game on. I have literally run through the entire game, beginning to end, all of the extra content 3 times. I love this game. This game is just a blast to play for me. I love the first one.
It's solid and it's been fun and challenging.
Yeah, it's just been a blast. Granted, whenever Mass Effect comes out, I'm probably going to forget all about the Division.
Oh, yeah, the Mass Effect remaster.
That's another story entirely.
It is. Doug, we're going to go to you next, buddy. Tell us.
What's the subject again?
Was that?
I forgot what the topic was here, Dirk.
Oh, what have you been consuming?
Man.
Oh, what we're consuming. I'm sorry.
I been playing a little bit of the video game Hades as well as Demon Souls.
Nice.
Cool.
I watched on HBO Max with my wife Flight Attendant, which was kind of an interesting mystery deal.
That's with Kaylee Cuoco?
Yes.
Was it good?
I really liked it. I don't know if everybody will like it, but I was kind of liking how it going. She had a lot more range than I expected her to,
Nice.
Good. Yeah.
So
that's good news.
And then, you said we can promote one another thing.
Yeah, whatever, man.
You can promote as much as you want.
You do what you want, man.
My friend's upcoming Kickstarter is called The Preserve. It's coming out next month. LA. Oh my God! No, don't blink on people's names. L.A. Chavez. He's the writer for this comic. I saw an early draft. I helped him out by offering to edit. I was like, I don't know this guy. He just said cold messaged me one day, and I respected it, and I really liked what his story was. So I'm so happy to see it's gone to the stage where it's going to be kickstarting soon.
And it's called The Preserve.
The Preserve, yeah. Keep your eye out on Kickstarter here in the next month.
Tell him we want him on the show.
I told him to contact you. He was asking me who to contact.
Seriously, good. We'll put him on the show, or we'll do we can do an individual thing where we just interview him, whatever he's got time for.
Okay.
Yeah, great. All right, Scott, you're up next, man.
All right, I have been in a different house for like 4 days now straight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. This is not my home. I've been staying over at Jennifer's house. So we decided to be snowed in together versus snowed in apart.
That's cool. No Jennifer tonight?
She's raiding on WoW as we speak. She's killing. She said we're going to kill a lot of bosses with our tunes or something like that. And I'm surprised.
Her tunes?
Yeah, she's playing with her like
going to sing at them.
No, she calls the little characters tunes. Like when you make a character, like your dad's character would have been a tune if you played World of Warcraft.
Okay, well, I'm not familiar with that term.
I'm not either.
I'm going to have to go to,
she's doing her normal Tuesday night activities, which is raiding right now. So I'm letting her raid.
That's cool.
consuming wise, we watched the latest WandaVision. It was very good. Sad to hear that the next couple episodes are now going to be like an hour long, which is going to be hell.
Dude, how are you complaining about that?
It's fine. I mean, really, since the last episode, all I've been doing is working a whole bunch. And like I said, the only reason I'm here tonight is because my job just shut down for a few days. So you might not see me for another couple of weeks after this, but I haven't really been consuming a whole lot. We've been watching a lot of the weathermen, predict this thing wrong because they want it to be an epic.
They missed it.
They said 18 inches of snow. And
it's going to be 1,000 feet of snow.
So
it's going to be like the day after tomorrow.
I brought comics over here. I haven't read any of them. I played some Rocket League, and I've watched a lot of snow things happen, and I've slept a lot. It's been nice to kind of just sleep.
Wow.
I've been on some muscle relaxers this last couple of days because like my shoulder's been hurting, and Jennifer's
Dude, now we're getting the real scoop now.
Yeah, so like it's been not real good on that aspect, but it's been weird being cooped up for 4 days. It's starting to go crazy. I'm ready just to
on top of the pandemic.
Oh gosh, I'm ready just to put on some shoes and walk to 7-Eleven just because. I don't even need nothing. I just want to go and say I did it.
Are you just going to walk off into the snow?
Maybe. It's cold. I don't know if I'd survive.
Like a Viking or something. You're just going to, trek up in there.
Pretty much. So, I guess the only thing that's been consuming me is the trading card game Digimon has just come out over here in America for the English version. It's not Pokemon. It's Digimon, the card game. And it was.
Have a cartoon at one point?
They did, and they have another cartoon. I think it's on Netflix right now. And some of the guys that I played Dragon Ball Super card game with, they're younger than me, of course. So they're like, we got to get into this Digimon thing. And I have played the game. The card game mechanics is different than any game I played before, and it's kind of unique and interesting. The theme, I don't know if I care about so much just because like it's little digital monsters and stuff. I mean, kind of looks like Pokemon, except they're like in the digital world, but it's interesting enough that I joined the hype and maybe bought a box of cards and opened them up and got to look at all my collectibles and stuff. And
man, they got your number, dude.
Somebody who I might be living with right now said she's dating a 17-year-old boy, and I was like, yeah, I kind of are. So anyways,
maybe she overestimated the age.
Maybe so. So I have been like deck building a little bit out of the stuff I've opened up since I've been here. So anyways, still playing games. We've played a couple of adventures of Stuff Fables, which I've showed off before. We have one more adventure to complete that game. So me and Jennifer's been gaming during the snow, all the snow and the cold weather as well. So I guess I have been doing more stuff than I thought.
Yeah.
So there you
go. Jury said about playing The Division. So basically it's a step up from the gameplay I used to watch in her living room.
Yes.
Look, The Division and The Division 2 is a beautiful game. It is really impressive the way it looks.
Next time you guys do that, set a firm time so people know instead of just saying ambiguously, we're going to be on there soon.
To be honest with you, we weren't sure how long it was going to take to get the thing going.
I'm just saying in the future.
Because I have to link with Shawn, and then I have to get the game going, and then I have to go to Twitch and get that going, and we hadn't done any of that. So now it's kind of set up, and we could probably say, at 7:00 tonight we're going to do it.
I would love to stream some Rocket League, and everybody could make fun of me how bad I suck.
Dude, how can you suck? You play that all the time.
You don't improve, man. I've topped out.
Ashell says it's a lot more fun to be snowed in with someone to play with.
That's true.
Ronnie says, I had to redo my password on Kickstarter just for you, Doug. I'll be watching you tomorrow on there with money burning a hole in his pocket.
Yeah, Ronnie's the type of guy who gets up at like 4:00 in the morning to wake up the chickens.
He does,
It's very true.
and I hope that everyone else is doing the same. I seriously want everyone to get out there and support this. What a great project! And Doug's pretty cool too. Doug's pretty cool too. Jeree says that she loves Kaylee Cuoco. She's now interested. It's not a movie; it's a television series on HBO Max.
It's
Walt
HBO
says
Max.
Walt says it's a wintry mix down there in Big D.
It's just snow here, man. Just snow right
Yeah,
now.
Jeree says
More's coming, Doug.
Yeah, more. Here it comes. Whatever's here is heading to Missouri next.
Yeah.
All right. So my on blast for tonight is this book, Making Comics by Scott McCloud, another Scott. And this is he did a book maybe 20, 25 years ago called Understanding Comics, which was excellent. I would say that if you are a comic creator, writer, artist, pencil or ink or colorist, whatever, you should be reading this book. I mean, there's a lot of information in here on how comics are created and the theory behind how. Let's do it this way. Every page is like this, so it's not like a textbook. It's like a comic book, but it reads like a textbook. I mean, he's basically. This is called Making Comics: Storytelling Secrets of Comics, Manga, and Graphic Novels, and it is by Scott McCloud.
See, I've got his first one.
#1 New York Times bestselling author. This is better than Understanding Comics. He starts off at the very beginning. He's got some new philosophy. It's very clear to me that he's had 25 years to think about this subject, and he is really bringing it. This is a thick book, folks. It's got a lot of information in it. It's all illustrated, and it goes from the beginning to the end on how to create stuff. He talks about expressions. He talks about how to be a better inker. He talks about how to be a better writer. He has a lot of people who are already in the industry do panels or talk in the book as well about things that they are they particularly know. If you are interested in doing comics, if you want to get a little deeper into this thing and be a better storyteller or just get a refresher or something, this is an excellent book. I'm getting my refresher right now. Making Comics by Scott McCloud.
Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud came out in 1993.
There you go.
So almost 30 years.
Yeah. Jeez.
I bought that from him at a convention.
Yeah.
I remember him shelling them back in the day. Oh, we lost Doug?
We did lose Doug, folks, at least temporarily.
Okay.
Scott McCloud, whenever I handed him the money for the book, he begged me, whatever you do, go through this book. Don't just put it on a shelf and collect it. I said, not a problem. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do you a favor. And he took the book and he cracked the spine right in front of me. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Here, let me get you. And I'm like, no. It's fine. I'm going to read the book. It's going to happen eventually.
Gives you a good story.
Oh my God. But you could see the passion that was in him. You have to read this book. Crack. And it's like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Relax.
I would have had him give me a new book.
I would have too.
He did. And he signed it, and it's up on my shelf. I have since cracked the spine on it. But yeah.
Also a good book, by the way. But I really think that this new one is a little bit better, little bit wiser and stuff. In any case, if you're interested in doing comics, even if you are doing comics and you want to do them better, this gets deep into the philosophy of storytelling from every angle. It's good stuff, man. It's like going back to school, but it's fun school.
Fun school.
Michelle says, Scott, I'll tell you that you suck without you needing to play a game for us.
Thanks.
Okay. Nice of her to do that. All right. Let's do our big promo time. I'm going to go to Scott on that. It's promo time.
All right. First, I'm going to promote Bolt Down, BoatDown.com is where you can find me and Steve Campbell as we do a Blood Bowl podcast monthly. The latest issue is delayed because we were supposed to record Monday, but through
we're on winter lockdown.
Winter lockdown, and we had a guest planned for the show. That just didn't happen. So we're planning on recording at a later date, and then we'll have a new episode up. But there is a library of over 100, probably 115 episodes that you can go back and listen to if you'd like on iTunes or wherever you find podcasts. So boatdown.com. You can also catch me at Real Scott Prime over on Twitter if you want to get a hold of me there. You can catch me in the Taskforce Geek forum on Facebook. I'm there as well.
Oh, dude, you really pulled that one out. How about this?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And just a reminder, since Doug is not here, you can catch his big project Big Hype, on Kickstarter tomorrow morning around 8:00-ish. Get there early so you can get that sweet printed book for like $15. That is a steal. That's amazing. That's a good job. I mean, it's crazy. So set your alarms, get on there and grab a copy of that. Support Doug and his group of guys. I mean, you can see Doug's really passionate about it, and I think it's amazing that he's not taking one single dime of this for himself because he's putting a lot of work into it. I know he can't because of, being a veteran and all that, but at the same time, it's amazing to know that once you hit that what we need mark, then he just starts divvying up that money to the creators. So that's really awesome. So I really hope they make $20,000-$25,000 on this project. That'd be great.
Doug is a super cool guy. I mean, if you're not convinced, from the last time he was on and this time that he's on, even if you are not excited about the artwork and stuff or the idea behind this, it's a great idea. Get over there and help support Doug. Doug is the type of guy that you want in this industry. He's the type of guy that you want to, to continue producing work. Put your money where your mouth is. Get over there and support this. It's I
truly feel like Doug's going to see the fruit of these seeds 6 months, 9 months down the road from this.
Dude, he is connected with everyone. I am seriously going to say, look,
they're going to be impressed he pulled this off.
We want to talk to the people that he's working with. He just set himself up as the nexus for a lot of creative activity.
What I hope this turns into is like a regular, like either yearly or 3 or 4 times a year project where he has to go back and reprint this as, Project Big Hype Volume 1 and Volume 2. And some of these creators come back and continue on their stories through other volumes. That'd be awesome.
This is a hit. I think this is a hit, maybe more so than anything else that we've had on here. We've had some cool stuff, but I think that this is a home run. Seriously, I don't know how it can't be.
Right.
Shawn, we're going to you. Give us the
nothing really to promote other than rankingstudios.com. Please check out Ranking Studios for anything that we are currently working on.
All 3 of us have work on there.
Yes. All of us. And check it out. Check out the artwork that we're producing. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think of it. You can also find us at Facebook.com/Ranking Studios. There too. Feel free to drop us a line. Say, hey, what's going on? And let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of what we're creating. I mentioned earlier that I just finished a project. I'll probably be posting that up on both sites this week. Possibly tomorrow if I'm stuck at home from work due to the increased snow.
It could happen.
It's possible. So go check out both of those. Let us know what you think of what we're doing and how we can improve your life.
Hey, look what else I have here.
And there's
the Twitch address. So if you want to watch us,
if you want to see a couple of old farts running around in a video game trying to kill a bunch of people, feel free.
All right, let's go back to this. Doug is not here. We want to make sure that he gets I mean, that's who we had on here. We're going to say one more time. Go over there. The project is Big Hype Comics. Okay.
Project Big
Project
Hype.
Big Hype. So if you're interested in it, get over there and help him out. And he's also on Twitter. I don't have his thing up here. I can't do that. As for me, look at this right here. I can't believe we have this still. This is Russell was on here earlier. Go here and see Russell. On Facebook, you can see me at facebook.com, Dark Hooper Artworks. There's some good stuff there. I'm working on some stuff. It's fun. Also, you can catch me over, where is my silly thing? Here it is. Dark Hooper Plus. And you can check me out over at Ranking Studios as well. I have a commission page there if you're interested in commissioning for something. I'm going to be doing commissions for about the next 2 months. So it's not coming soon. It's not coming quickly. I have one more comment here. Scott wants to open up about a 40-minute conversation. He says a little off topic, but since we're talking comics, what are your all's favorite artists? I would have to say for me, there are 3: Carl Barks, Don Rosa, and Sergio Aragones.
Real quick, I'm going to say Eric Larson, Milo Manera, and Kevin McGuire.
They're not going to come up easy for me. I like Brian Stelfreeze a lot, Dave Johnson, Frank Frazetta.
Boom.
Right off the top of my head, it'd be
I'm
comic artist.
Big one. I can't think of his name.
Comic artists would be Jason Pearson, Michael Golden, Mobius.
Mobius is a good one.
There you go. There's 3. We
easily
covered that. Boom.
How about that? I'm thinking about having like a little segment every week where we talk about, we pick an artist and we show some artwork from that artist and talk about them a little bit. If anyone's interested in that, tell us. And if not, we're about to wrap it up. You guys have anything else that you need to add?
Everybody stay warm out there.
Man.
There was
what we need is another tragedy to go through.
There was a prolific illustrator that passed away recently that I wanted to mention.
Adam Hughes. I forgot Adam Hughes. I love that guy.
Oh, I just thought you guys were going to drop the bomb that Adam Hughes died on us.
No, sorry.
That's what I was.
Totally unrelated to what Shawn is talking about.
Jesus, I was about to leap through this.
Sorry. Sorry.
The science fiction and fantasy illustrator by the name of Rowena passed away. What was it? Friday, I believe it was last Friday.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for the question. It's a good one.
If you are not familiar with her artwork,
good choice.
Please check it out. It is absolutely some gorgeous stuff. I don't think they're doing any type of.
She was heavy metal, right?
She's done some heavy metal.
A lot of fantasy stuff.
A lot of cards. Yeah. Was there card sets of Rowena?
There were a lot of card sets. A lot of
calendars.
A lot of calendars.
Yeah. A lot of posters.
She primarily, I want to say that she primarily did like novel covers, and then obviously that expanded into other areas of publication. But she apparently, what was it? She was I think she was born in 1944. So I mean, it wasn't like she was a spring chicken or anything, but it is another.
She was born in 1944.
It's another one of these
can we do that math?
Illustrators that
76.
It's another one of those classic illustrators like Bernie Wrightson, like Frank Frazetta, like that we
phenomenal
grew up
artists.
with.
Yes,
that are now leaving our.
There's so many artists out there that I think that if you are like part of the generation that's following artists on Instagram, you may not know who Rowena is.
By all means, you need to look her up. She's absolutely fantastic.
What's that?
I was about to say, yeah, I'm looking up her artwork right now. There's a lot of these things I've seen like on book covers.
Oh, it's iconic
calendars.
Stuff.
Yeah,
really phenomenal artwork.
Yeah. So, and for those, if you want to spell it correctly, it's Rowena. Her last name was Morrill, Morrill. So, American artist. Yeah, it's almost similar to like the Hildebrandt brothers too, in some ways. I mean, not in all ways, but in some.
Yeah. Michelle says, "Love seeing your beautiful faces." Even Scott and me.
No, just Shawn.
Even us.
Well, maybe.
Do we count it all?
We're pretty handsome. I mean, we're no Shawn.
No one is as good looking as me.
It's the red, dude. If you took off the red, me and Dirk would be tied for first.
It's possible.
Ronnie says, "Oh yes, an artist segment is a wonderful idea," and Brendan says that he agrees. So maybe next week we do Rowena. Maybe that would be a good start for that. Doesn't have to be a long segment, but we can just grab a few things and talk about it.
Well, we will turn something not long into very long.
It's true.
Yes, it will be a complete dissertation on the history of art. Ronnie says Rowena did many book covers that he has read, and Ronnie has read a lot. Michelle says we're all beautiful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Aww.
That'll help me sleep at night. Does anyone else have anything that they want to say before we bring it home?
We're good, man. Go support Doug's project. That's all I got to say.
Please,
Bye.
please, seriously. Please.
I will be posting that to, I'll be sharing that on my Facebook. I'll do the same to Ranking Studios. Please check out his stuff. Give it a look-see.
This won't be the last time we talk about it, I promise you.
No.
All right. Well, thanks to Doug for being on here. He's an awesome guest. He's welcome here anytime, seriously. And hopefully he'll hook us up with some of those artists or anyone else that he's in, because now he's in contact with 72 people that could be guests on Taskforce Geek. Thanks also to Scott and to Shawn for another great show. And thanks to everyone who's chiming in. Oh, someone's got some comments here. I don't want to miss them. Jerry says, "Love seeing all your faces." Maybe the storm talking. Ronnie says he loved the show.
Or the bourbon.
Right, the bourbon. Or maybe she's freezing to death. It could be her final moments.
Yep.
It's a fever dream. Thanks everyone for watching us tonight. We sure appreciate it. Everyone who's chiming in on the show. For Shawn, for Scott, for Doug. This is Dirk Hooper saying, be warm and dream hard.